welcome back to our channel. I thought in today's video I would give a first trimester update. I am officially out of the first trimester and I am now in the second trimester, and so I thought, as I've been watching YouTube videos and kind of getting an idea of kind of what other moms have gone through, I haven't really seen a whole lot of like updates towards like the end of each, so I thought I'd just give my thoughts and my experiences of how kind of the first trimester went for me. This is my first pregnancy, so this will be our first child, and I really didn't know really what to expect. I had no expectations going into this, as I had no knowledge of what to expect during the first trimester. Obviously, I knew about potential morning sickness and people saying that you're going to be fatigued and you're not going to want to do anything, or little things here and there that you hear. Some stuff I've heard from my sister, as she has already had her first child and experienced it, but nothing that like I knew, okay, this is what was going to happen. So this is just my experience, what I went through. It is not going to be the same for everyone. Every pregnancy is different for every different mama. So I can't say it's going to be cut and dry. This is just, again, what I experienced and what I went through. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so I have my phone with some notes that I've made just to kind of help give a guide on this video, and so I don't just ramble and ramble. But one of the main questions we got was, how and when did we find out we were pregnant? But we found out when we were only 4 weeks pregnant, which is kind of like the earliest you can really get it to detect on a at-home pregnancy test. And officially, we found out on November 7th. But a little background to that, the night before, so November 6th, me, my husband, and my brother were just kind of joking around at dinner about how the possibility of me being pregnant. They had both noticed that in that week and the week before, like I was really just kind of run down, really tired, not my normal energetic self, especially with being at home. So we just kind of joked, like, what would the odds be that I'd be pregnant? No one at all thought truthfully or assumed I was actually pregnant. Like, that didn't even, it was a joke. But I decided, to play along with the joke the next morning to just take a pregnancy test. I had one sitting in my bathroom, and I was like, you know what, just for the fun of it, I'll just take one, because everyone already assumes I'm pregnant, or we're joking that I was pregnant last night, whatever. It'd be negative, no big deal. It'd just be fun to just joke and wake up to that. So I woke up a little earlier than my husband did, and so I went to the bathroom, and the first pee of the morning, like they suggest, and took a pregnancy test, set it on the counter, stood in the bathroom, would not come out of the bathroom until I got the results, and lo and behold, it came up pregnant. At this point, I'm freaking out, like in a good way, because I honestly, truly did not expect that it would be positive. Like, to explain it, again, we were joking the night before. No, none of the three of us would have assumed that at any point that test would have been positive, but it was. So then I proceed to come out. I, show my husband. He's super excited, but we keep it from my brother, so he doesn't know. If you want to see that video, I'll link it in the cards somewhere up here of everyone's reaction to finding out we were pregnant. But yeah, it was a surprise. Now, when I say it was a surprise, we were trying for a child, but we didn't expect that it would happen so soon. So that's where the surprise came. But yeah, that was an exciting day. That's how we found out, and kind of when we first found out. So like I said, we found out on November 7th. I had, double check and make sure, I had my first prenatal appointment on November 16th to confirm or deny the pregnancy, because again, at home pregnancy tests, you can have a false positive. So I just wanted to make sure. At my doctor's appointment, it was confirmed that I was pregnant. So we went along our merry way. No problems. The other question I get asked a lot during my first trimester was, what are we having? That seems to be like the question everyone, whether it's your family, strangers on the street when they realize you were showing and you're pregnant, friends, everyone just wanted to know what we were having. We don't know. We did not choose to find out early. We will not find out until our 20-week ultrasound, but we don't know. So it was always just fun to tell people, we don't know. And then, the follow-up question is, well, are you going to find out, or are you just going to wait till the end? And honestly, that's up to us, but we want to find out. Well, my husband wants to find out. I kind of want to wait. So we'll see what happens. But that was one of the other questions. Another question I get asked is, what was the first prenatal or first appointment like? And to be honest, it was very easy. I scheduled an appointment with my gynecologist that I normally would have seen on a routine basis, and just called her and said, hey, I need to schedule an appointment to confirm a pregnancy. And she was super excited. So I did that, and they had me do, like I said, so she did the ultrasound, she had me do blood work that day, and then she actually had me come in 2 days later to do blood work again. And basically what they were checking was to see if the HCG levels were increasing or doubling or tripling like they should for a viable pregnancy. Now, thankfully, mine had tripled, if not quadrupled, so we knew we were on at least a good track at that point. But that was really my first appointment. The other things that happened during that first appointment, they handed me a little pamphlet so I could kind of have some questions, like if I had questions, I could read through it about kind of what the first little bit's going to be like. Also the timeline of all of my prenatal appointments, what was going to be expected during that appointment, kind of what tests or screenings would be done if there needed to be done any during that appointment, which I really appreciated. It allowed me to get an understanding of what I was to expect before going into the appointment, which I truly appreciated. That way I wasn't just going to the appointment blindly. So yeah, that was really that first prenatal appointment, confirmation appointment that I had. It wasn't anything scary. It was, again, just kind of like a normal routine appointment, just not at the normal routine time. I did have about, I think it was week 8 or 9, we did have a little scare. I started bleeding, which is actually very common. So I wanted to put that out there and put that in this video because I didn't realize that. Evidently, it is quite common for women to bleed during the first trimester, especially during the first couple early weeks. It doesn't automatically mean miscarriage. It doesn't mean that anything is wrong with the baby. It just happens. So I started bleeding around week 8 to 9. I bled for about a week and a half, and I did go in and have an emergency appointment done, and baby was completely fine. Wasn't hemorrhaging or anything. Basically it was like having a period, but it was very light. Nothing more than, a light liner or small pad would work. I didn't try a tampon or the Diva cup like I usually use because I didn't know if you could do that while you were pregnant. So I just used my reusable pads, and those were completely fine. But that was a bit scary right away. After that, though, haven't had any issues. Currently still haven't had any issues, so we've been pretty good. But I will admit, being a first-time mom and not knowing what was going on, that was really scary. The other age-old question I get are, what are your cravings? Like, are you craving anything? Do you have any food aversions? I don't know how many times I would get asked that. Early on, I didn't have many cravings or food aversions, to be honest. I did experience morning sickness pretty rough the first couple weeks, like from week 4 when we kind of found out till really weeks 10 and 11. Like, it was pretty bad. I never threw up. I did feel like I was going to most of the day, but it just, nothing settled in my stomach. Like, everything just felt off or wrong. And there really wasn't anything that you could do about it. Like I would try, my doctor would suggest eat smaller meals, but eat multiple meals through the day. And I would do that and it wouldn't really help. If anything, it made me feel like I overate in a day because I would just feel so stuffed by the end of the day, but I knew that really wasn't the case. I didn't eat more than I normally would in a day. I just spread it out, but my body felt like I was overeating. I tried ginger tea, I tried ginger chews. Those would help a little bit, but then it would come right back. There was just no real good relieving it. But again, that's just part of some women's experience during the first trimester. Some women don't experience morning sickness at all. Towards the end of the first trimester, I didn't experience it during the day, but it would be right before I went to bed every night, no, without fail. Now that I'm into the second trimester, obviously not far into it, but I'm into it, I have noticed it has subsided a little bit, but there are days where it comes and goes. So it's not completely gone, but it's not every day, which is nice. But I did notice recently, obviously this is more in the second trimester, but towards the end of the first trimester, I did start having food cravings, primarily for French fries. Zaxby's French fries. I don't know why, but like that was what I like craved, like without fail. I also was craving sourdough bread for like a couple weeks, and then that kind of went away. Pasta has been something I crave, though I can only eat so much of it and then my stomach hurts. And then like the fruit popsicles, like the Outshine fruit popsicles, oh my goodness, like yes. Obviously it is like winter here, but I still wanted popsicles. I don't know, that's just, those are some of the things I was craving during the first trimester. We'll see if I continue to crave those throughout the pregnancy or if that was just kind of that thing, but yeah, those were the foods. I didn't really have a whole lot of food aversions. Another thing that I would get asked a lot is how do I feel? Overall, I felt fine, besides the morning sickness all the time, but I did feel very tired. But then as the first trimester went on, like I definitely would still get tired, but I could tell I could make it a little longer each day. It wasn't as bad. Sleeping was a different story. Obviously I don't have a big belly yet, so I know that sleeping is going to become more of an issue later on, but I could not get comfortable. I still can't get comfortable sleeping at night. I've tried lots of pillows, as you can see on my bed. I tried a body pillow. I tried putting a pillow in front and behind, and just nothing seems to work. So I'm still experimenting with that. If you have any suggestions on ways to get comfortable when sleeping, let me know. Put them in the comments below. I would love to find out how you mamas have figured that out. I know some people said get a pregnancy pillow. I just don't know if I want to invest in that quite yet, but if it would help relieve and I could actually get decent sleep, well, I will do it. So just let me know in the comments section below. There were a couple of things that my doctor recommended. Obviously, they recommend a prenatal vitamin. I actually started taking my prenatal vitamins when we were trying to conceive. So when me and my husband finally made the decision that we were ready to start our family and we wanted to try to have children, I went ahead and stopped my birth control, but I also went ahead and started my prenatal vitamin because they say those first few days of conception are vitally important. And so I already wanted all of those good nutrients and vitamins in my body. That way, if we did conceive without me knowing, which happened, the baby was already getting all of those vital things without me having to worry, like, did I miss something or why wasn't I taking it early enough? You don't have to, but some women do. So I did want to show you, I started taking this. It is the Pre-Mama, this is the 28-day prenatal drink mix with DHA added. It was the citrus flavor. This company has different stages depending on what you're trying to do. I think they have like a cleanse, prenatal, a conceive, like if you're trying to conceive. I immediately just started this. I didn't do the others. And it's just, I have a few. It's just like a drink powder mix. You mix it in with water or juice or whatever you wanted to mix it in. Sometimes I would put it in my smoothie. Sometimes I would put it in orange juice. I hardly took it with water. I had a hard time with this, not because it was bad, but just like the taste. When my morning sickness was really bad, like I really had a hard time just stomaching this. I never threw it up, but I would gag it pretty much the whole time. And if you ask my husband, I complained about it a lot. But it was one I wanted to try. But I really enjoyed it, minus not being able to stomach it. But it was nice to just mix in my drink. And honestly, because I was taking this and my family didn't know we were trying to conceive, it really just worked as if it was like a vitamin C package. Hide the words, because on the back it says prenatal with DHA. I was always hide it and pour it in my drink real quick and then throw it away or wrap it in something or put it in my bag so no one could see. We were being secretive on purpose. I did switch from this to another type of prenatal, but I don't think I have the bottle anymore. I think I finished it all. So I'll insert the image here somewhere on the screen. But I liked that one because it was pill form and it was a little bit easier to swallow. I did have issues with gag reflex on that one too, but not nearly as bad as the powder mix. And I enjoyed that one. I didn't get nauseous on it. I didn't have any issues with it. So I enjoyed it. When I brought it up to my doctor, she said it was fine, but being vegetarian, she wanted to see me have something that had a higher iron level. And so I had to go and look for something else. Now, I'll preface this with saying I was particularly trying to find prenatal vitamins that were at least vegetarian based. A lot of them, the omega-3 and the DHA, are usually done with like a fish oil or something animal product related, and I did not want that. I wanted it to be completely vegetarian based since I practice a vegetarian based diet. So she suggested a store near where I live, and they had several options, and so then I found this one. It is the Nature's Way Alive Complete Premium Prenatal Multivitamin with 200 milligrams of plant DHA per serving. This had a higher enough iron level that she was fine with. It also had a high enough folate level that she was fine with. So she really liked this one. Not that my other one was bad, it just, we wanted to have a higher iron level just to be safe, to make sure I was getting that. So I am currently taking these now. And we'll probably continue to take these on throughout the pregnancy unless I decide I want to change it up and find something different. But this is what I'm doing now. So those are kind of what I started with. The other thing my doctor recommended was not to Google anything. She said, don't waste your time Googling what you can and can't do, what you can and can't eat, what's good or what's bad. She goes, you'll get every answer possible for every question. She goes, if you have questions, just ask. The thing she suggested was to read this book. Now, I checked it out from our library. I just got it, so I'm still in the process of reading it, but it's called Expecting Better by Emily Oster. She's an associate professor of economics at the University of Chicago. More statistical approach to different things, and really like hones in on the typical questions that most people have and gives the more statistical reason. Some of the other things I noticed during this first trimester was that I did I did start having headaches more. I'm not a chronic person who, no, I can't speak. I'm not a person who gets chronic headaches all the time. And I did start to get them more during my first trimester. Now, it is possible it's due to the higher iron level than what I'm used to. It's something that I've not been able to manage. It's just, there's been a couple of times where it's been uncomfortable. But I would suggest if you're having chronic headaches, talk to your doctor. They're going to be the ones that can give you the best advice possible on what may work or what's best for you. The other things that I noticed was body changes. Obviously, you're growing a human, your body's gonna change. But what I didn't expect is like how quickly it changed and some of the changes. Maybe TMI, so if you're male or a dude, you may want to skip this part of the video, but ladies, my boobs changed. Like, that was like the first thing I noticed. Like, they've gotten bigger, and my husband doesn't mind, but that was like one of the big things. Like, I could look in the mirror and be like, ooh, okay. The other change I would notice is my hips. Now, obviously, your body is changing, and so that's normal, but like I could feel my hips widening and moving. The other thing is I could feel the belly stretch. I haven't gotten any stretch marks yet around my belly. I do have a couple on my legs. I guess clearly that part stretched a little faster than everything else, but I would be just going about my day and I'd be like, ooh, that, feels uncomfortable. And I could just, it almost felt like you were ripping muscle. That's the best way I could explain it. Like, painful, but not enough where I'm like, oh, I need to go to the doctor. Like, I was okay. The other thing I noticed a lot was that I would get leg pain. Just mostly in my upper thighs area and to my knees. And I don't know if that was just it stretching or shifting, but I did notice that quite a bit. It's gotten a little better, but I do tend to have, I guess, the restless legs that you can get. But again, it wasn't unbearable, but it was just uncomfortable. And I think between the stretching of the belly and the legs, like that did not help aid in the sleeping issue that I was experiencing. Lastly, what I wanted to talk about in my first trimester was I went ahead and purchased, you saw me reading from it earlier, my baby book. I decided to go with this one. I know some mamas like to scrapbook. I know some mamas just want words. I went with this one. It has a little bit of everything. It has just kind of some what to expect a little bit, stuff about like when we found out we were pregnant, a little bits about mom and dad, a little bits about the family tree, places where you can put photos, suggestions, checklists. It has like a whole medical information section. It has every trimester, so the first, second, and third broken down in sections. It has a whole section for welcoming baby. It just goes into a lot of detail, but allows a bit of customization for you. The idea was this is for while you're pregnant, so all the way through your pregnancy, as well as through the first year of your baby's life. So the back half of the book is for the first year of baby's life, and the front half is like all for pregnancy. It also has a weekly view calendar and a monthly view calendar. So what I've done is I keep everything in my phone, but then I've transported like doctor's visits and stuff, because this is something like as a milestone you can give to your child, or you can remember back 10-15 years when your children are older, and it's just kind of nice to look back and be like, oh, that's what I experienced then. So that was my suggestion. I got it off Amazon. I'll try to link it below. Obviously it's not going to be for everyone, but this is the one I decided to go with, and so far I've been really happy about it. There is also stickers in the back, which is kind of nice, because then you can like stick them throughout the book or wherever. Okay guys, so that is everything that I wanted to share from my first trimester. If you guys like this video, please feel free to hit the like button and click the subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.